everybody, TJ here with a new video. This time we're discussing defensive options in MK1. Now, there are a good amount of defensive options, and not as much as MK11, thank God. But there are still some options that you gotta consider whenever you're on offense. Now, some people claim there's no Oki in this game. Technically speaking, it's the same kind of Oki Street Fighter 6 has, in my opinion. You have invincible / armored wake-ups, or not. The only main difference here is that you can delay your wake up. In Street Fighter 6, there's always the same knockdown, regardless of anything. So that's the real mind game, in my opinion, is that delay wake up is a real mind game. Because everything else, same timing, right? You can, plus you can break armor stupidly easy in this game. So, we just look here. Alright, there's break the armor. Like, Reiko's a little bit privileged because his mid-projectile hits like 5 freaking times, but the point remains, there are setups to which you can break armor, and it's, like, absurd. Like, Oki is a thing in this game, you just have to know what you're doing. So, how do you defend against, armor breaks and whatever else? Well, in this game, you have reversals. So, if we look at Sub-Zero, his reversal is back forward 3, his slide has armor on it. So, if I, as Reiko, do 1, 2, 3... he can armor through. Gets, I don't know, maybe 10% damage, right? 10% full combo if he has Goro, sure. Now, here's the kicker. I just stop, I get punished. I get to punish. Or, if I'm feeling a little saucy, enhance my projectile, breaks the armor, now I'm +2. I'm +2 in their face. Close enough to close enough to touch with the down 3. So let's do it again. Yeah, so essentially that's the idea of if someone has armor and they think you're gonna go for a gap that has armor, then they'll armor out of it and they'll get a bit of damage or full combo depending on the character and the cameo. How do you deal with that? You simply stop your pressure. You simply stop and bait the big boy armor because then they are screwed. And of course it's not as easy as that because there's ambushes, there's setups, there's different things, but generally that's the mentality you want to have is this. If I think you're going to do something defensive, just hesitate and punish. I know some people are like, oh, I want to keep pressing. It's my turn. They're knocked down. But it's like, sure, you can keep doing that, but you're going to get blown up if they know what they're doing with their wake-ups. Just like Street Fighter. Like, people are like, oh, I'm going to keep pressing on knockdown. It's like, yeah, you can, you definitely have every right to. However, wake-up super. Like, that's just how fighting games work. So, aside from armored reversals to bypass to deal with neutral, to wake up through gaps, to wake up on the ground, like what else can you do here? Well, delay wake up. So if we set sub,
get up, reversal, get up, use this mode to enhance ice clone, random attack.
Let's see, where are you?
Random, you're on left.
So now he is set to delay wake up. So yeah, so essentially you're if you don't want to armor on wake up and save your bar and whatever else, you can simply wake up and block. And at that point, because 8 times out of 10, the player is trying to be super offensive, they will overcommit to something stupid, and you can blow them up anyway. Now, the other option is long delay, and I tried setting it up, but I failed. Essentially, what long delay does is it makes your wake-up timing different. Excuse me. As far as I'm aware, you cannot long delay into an armor move. For all I know, you probably can. It's tricky. Long delay is probably the one that will, in the long run, will help you on defense on knockdown a lot more than armor, because right now you can get away with like armor and wake up for almost every situation depending on your character, but eventually people will just like, oh, I'm gonna block and punish, because for Reiko right here, if I do my down back 3 armor, I get 11% when on knockdown, get some Oki, sure, but if the opponent blocks, they're getting way more than 11%. So eventually I'm like, alright, you can dish me, I'm not gonna wake up armor. And then eventually, I take a few knockdowns. Eventually I'm like, yep, he's still going to keep going, so I'll just keep armoring. And the other thing too is depending on your character, you may or may not have bar laying around to do this. For me, for Reiko, because my combos don't need bar, I have bar for my wake up and my bar for my shurikens. Um, I don't really spend bar on the command grab, even though it is a great bar spending tool. I like having the armor or the shurikens, just more. They're just nice. Um, so wake ups generally revolve around long delay, blocking, or armor. So those, and eventually, yes, long delay could theoretically lead to people, we'll say, waking up with jumping and mashing. However, the problem with that is one is they're not blocking and they're not armoring, so they're gonna get hit. Now this is where things like a jump setup into like breaking armor comes into play. So if I can do this, the idea is depending on the knockdown and like the frames and stuff, you would go for a safe jump into a button, and the idea, as far as I'm aware, would be that if they woke up with their armor, then it would break the armor. In fact, let me just
Move. Opponent type. Move. Break. Get up. Get. Ice ball. Enhance. Ice slide. Enhanced ice slide.
let's see if we can do this. Oh. Okay, I can't do it. Maybe Reiko can't, or I'm just stupid. But the point is, as far as I'm aware, the idea is you do jump into a string and they'll break the armor, right? Every character has a situation in which they break armor. Sindel, if you're fighting Sindel and the Sindel decides to be aggressive on knockdown, you may as well just block. Either block or long delay, because then you can actually, defend against what she. Because like certain characters can break armor just by the nature of what they're doing. Like we saw with Reiko earlier. Sindel can do forward four. Smoke, I don't know what the input is, but he has like a triple high that will immediately break armor. He's plus 8 on block. Like, good move. Here's a kicker. If the opponent reads you doing that, just neutral duck. Now, of course, that opens the door of like him throwing out a mid, but that's just the risk you gotta take. That's the read you gotta do. So, aside from those three options, you have another defensive mechanic, that being up block or flawless block. In my mind, they're pretty much the same thing. Up block is better for certain situations, flawless block is better for others. So the idea is,
Move.
if we set
type.
him to do,
Escape.
let's do this.
Stands.
Stands,
Block mode.
block.
Auto. Stands. Stands. Hold. Up block. Random attack. Random comp. Off.
Where's flawless?
Auto. Stands. Stands hold. Stands. Your opponent. Up block. Random attack. Block type. Flawless. Left.
Okay. Point being, so if we do up block here, like you see him up blocking, this is effectively a floss block, but only for overheads or jump ins. What this will do is negate pushback and help with frame data as well, depending on the situation, to guarantee punish jump ins. So jump ins are effectively gone if you make the read. And for characters with overheads in the strings like Raiden or Reiko has a standing overhead, this can be quite devastating on the opponent's end, because it will just help you take your turn back or guarantee punish depending on the character. Like for Reiko here, I don't know what the up block or flawless block or anything on his 4-2 is. I just know it's 6 on block by default. It's 9%, good overhead, right? For Raiden, actually, the funny thing is this, his double overhead string, I think it's 4-3-3, right? You can up block the second head of the overhead, but as far as I'm aware, the up block doesn't really help you as much as simply just interrupting him with armor or just poke him out, just jab him out. You can combo him because it's an anti-air state. However, it's a little tricky depending on your character. You have to love the conversion. Flawless block, on the other hand, is actually really nice this time around, as opposed to MK11. MK11, it was kind of cheap because if you went for flawless block, there was no penalty. You just got the flawless block and got the up 3 or up 2, and there was no real negative to it. Here, There's not a big reward for it. What the reward is here is in some situations it'll help with the frame data, sure, and help with pushback, sure. Those are nice. But the big thing is it helps with chip damage. So I do not have the execution, let alone the characters right now, to perform this, but Baraka and Cyrax, Johnny and Cyrax, these characters, Scorpion and Cyrax, effectively what you're doing is you're keeping yourself plus on block, building bar, comboing, and pressuring, and like Cyrax is just absurd. Honestly, I really think Cyrax needs nerfed. Either nerf his helicopter or buff his other moves to make him actually good, all the way around. Because I'd like to actually see other moves besides just helicopter all the damn time. But the actual flawless block, excuse me, flawless blocking, what it will do is negate chip damage. So someone like Baraka might do like 20% of your life gone for blocking. However, if you flawless block Baraka or flawless block Cyrax or whatever you need to do in that situation, that 20% turns to like 5. Right? And if you know what you're doing, it very well may be a punish. Like you may actually just blow up Baraka for that. So hopefully this helped you guys understand that when you're knocked down, you have armor or delay wake up or block. Those are your 3 safest, or not safest, but like your 3 reliable options. If the opponent is more hesitant, you can wake up grab. You can do a few more wake up options, but realistically, start, feel out your opponent's Oki, like feel like what they want to do on their Oki. If opponents are are crazy mashing, keep your armor going, just keep armoring through. If they start to adapt and whiff punish your armor, then that's when you wake up forward dash into a button. It's always a dynamic result. So if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, share the video, as well as follow me on Twitch, Twitter, whatever socials. Thanks again for watching. See you guys next time.